This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
You know, when people reach out and ask for help and it's something as simple as, hey, shipping her a box of tampons.
The one thing about this girl is she's never asked me for anything. She may have hinted about tampons.
13th of November. Yeah, it's a Friday. Special edition 217 Recovery Podcast. My name is Corey Winfield. Joining me in the studio is co-host Marnie Liston.
Hey there.
And a very special guest, Laura Conrad.
Hello.
How's it going, Laura?
It's going pretty well. How about you two? You two doing okay?
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
doing good.
It's going well.
Okay.
Welcome to the studio. Last time we did a podcast, it was summer of, 2019?
Yes.
Charlevoix Pizza Company.
It was the pizza company.
Chicks just trying to flaunt it right in front of me.
Yes, they were all over you, Corey. I was like, stay away. And I found a stick and I was going to beat them with them, but they got the hint.
Yeah. I just was like, psh, I'm not into you, woman. Stop bending over in front of my face. Like,
Yeah.
What are you trying to... I'm not about that life.
Yeah. It was evident, too. It was really evident that you wanted nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah. I was like, ugh. Booty in my face. Ugh.
Yes, it was exactly how that went down.
Yeah. So, I've grown.
That's good.
Now I wear, larger shirts and stuff.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm still working on the whole personality thing growing. But no, it's good to have you in the studio. I said back in the day that as I was doing the podcast from the couch and sober living that I'm going to have a studio one day. And it's going to be sweet. It's not bad. It's not the final studio, but it's pretty sweet though.
It's very nice. I will give it a 9 on Yelp.
Dang.
Yeah.
Now
you go.
that's okay. So we got her on tape saying that.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So before we get any further, I just want to let you know that Nico, my cat, who you met,
Yes.
just woke up from a nap.
Yes.
And like many people, when they wake up from the nap, gotta use the restroom.
Yes.
Well, Nico's restroom is right over your left shoulder
Oh,
in that
nice.
closet. So she loves coming in here and bombing when Marnie is sitting in that chair. So I don't know about a guest, but she's stunk Marnie out a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just be prepared.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so looking forward to that.
So we're still getting that 9.
Maybe an 8. It depends. If the cat takes a crap in here, then might have to, we'll see. To be determined.
So you're in recovery.
Yes, I am.
You've got some time. How much time do you have in recovery?
I have over 4 years. July 5th, 2016 is when I got sober. And since then, I have not drank alcohol or used an illicit drug.
Excellent.
Yes.
How's life been for you since then?
It's awesome. I have to say, I also work as a recovery coach, and I love it when I don't love it, but when people come to me and they says, I just want my old life back. And I'm like, why do you want that shit back? It sounds horrible. Like, seriously, it's like, that's the thing is recovery. I don't get back. It's a new life for me. Where I was with my addictions, it was horrible. It was horrible. And I've almost died 7 times from drug and alcohol overdoses. I don't know what happened that last time. But for some reason it clicked with me that if I was going to keep going I was going to die. I really was going to die. And, I know up to that point, I was so terrified to go to bed at night because I was afraid I'd wake up, or afraid I wouldn't wake up. So, when you can't sleep and you got, a bunch of opiates and alcohol and you're afraid you're not going to wake up, a normal person would probably say, I should stop doing that. Well, I would just take more to help calm me down and drink more booze. And then I'm like, oh, I really hope, my God, I'm not going to wake up. And then I'd pass out. And then I'd wake up and I was pissed to be alive. I didn't want to die. I didn't think I wanted to die. I was just so focused on getting that next fix, right? And it was just so narrow-minded how it went. Nothing else mattered to me. Nothing else in the world mattered to me. I didn't want to feel. I didn't want to be present. I just wanted to be high. Looking back at it now, I can say it was pretty much passive suicide. I was pissed. I was scared to go to sleep at night, and I was pissed when I woke up. And it was the same thing every day.
And some people who listen to this are listening because they have friends or family who are addicts, and they're just trying to get a sense of what's going on. So when a normal person, and I say normal person, I mean, well, I don't know, whatever you want a normal person to be, but
someone not addicted to drugs and alcohol.
They hear what you just said and they go, oh my God, well, why would they keep doing that? What? Well, when we're in that addiction, it takes over our brain. And one thing about it is as you become cleaner and you start learning about your brain and learning what's going on, and it starts to make sense. Because no, that doesn't make sense to anybody. Nobody would want to do that to themselves. And that's the addiction. That's the part of that takes over your brain. And I don't mean to sound like takes over your brain and now you're the evil person. But no, it changes things. It
changes your chemistry. I mean, opiate withdrawal itself takes 2 years. From the time you last used to the time that your body is reset, it's 2 years. That's a big thing. And you go through so much in that you don't, not understanding what's happening. What is so important for that, for me, it was learning about what's like the withdrawal and what was happening with my brain. And it's like, so I was like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. It was like, okay, this is what's happening at my brain right now. Like, it's not me, it's just chemical. That was actually like my mantra when I would go through withdrawal. I'd be like, it's just chemical. It's just chemical. It's just chemical. It's just chemical. I'm not crazy. I'm not losing my mind. It's just chemical. So it was easy for me to insert that mantra again when I'm 4 months clean and everything is, I have 4 months without using and things are still like, what do I do? It's like, this is just chemical. My brain is resetting. And it is so true. Like, so many people, even with alcohol too, is like sugar. It's it activates that dopamine part of the brain. One of the things that I always say early on as a recovery coach is somebody's having a craving, here, have some Jolly Rancher. Something, here comes the kitty.
Now you're looking out for it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I could see him. I'm definitely aware.
Ranch.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. I love the crowd too. You guys are all good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, come on out. All right, give it up. One more time. Give it up for Laura.
They're all your minions that are just stuffed in the hall. Yeah. No COVID protocols here. No. But anyways, so back to the important things, not a cat about to take a poop. For me, it was really knowing what was going on. And then with the sugar, sugar for me, I mean, I put on weight so fast, just sugar weight. I needed to put weight on how I was, and almost 2 years to the time that, like almost 2 years to the date that I stopped using, it was like I stopped craving sugar. I have sugar now, like something I would eat normally early in addiction, and I eat now, and I'd be like, ooh, that's just like way too sugary. It's like, so it's interesting to learn that with the brain, that's some of those things can, change. Mm-hmm. And I think I had a conversation a couple weeks ago with a person whose son committed suicide or died by suicide. And when he went to go clean out his son's house, he found all these empty bottles. And he's like, I didn't even know he was that bad. He's like, there was just vodka bottles everywhere, like hidden in cupboards.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Very
right?
familiar.
To us, I'm like, oh yeah, that's normal. And he's like, I just don't understand it. Well, I use the bag of potato chip analogy. For me, for most people, just having one potato chip, that's really hard to do and just put the bag away. For me, that's alcohol. I can't just have one. I have to have the whole bag. Right. And for me, it's not just having the whole bag. It's like going to Frito-Lay and finding the chip making machine and just eating all that. Like, I'd eat all the chips.
Costco at the very least.
Yeah, Costco at the very least. I'd be, totally. You just see me, like, if I was addicted to, like, it was the same thing. It's like with potato chips. I'd be in Costco just taking down all the big bags, the aisles. I wouldn't even wait to get to the part, like my house. I would just do it shamelessly there because that's how it was fueled by. Mm-hmm. That's the same how with me with drinking and drugging. Like, I could not stop at one, especially drinking. I have a opiate use disorder. But alcohol, man, that's the shit that got me. Mm-hmm. I went through a divorce, and it was, what do you do when you're in your early 30s and you get a divorce and your social circle is completely collapsed? You go to the bar. You want to meet people, and So I used alcohol at first to help me with the withdrawal when I didn't have the opiates, because my doctor was my drug dealer, and my insurance company, was my sugar daddy that paid for all my drugs. So I still had those coming in, but I go through withdrawal. So I'm like, I'll just drink some more. When I found out I can do both of them together, it's like, let's go, baby. Let's go. And that alcohol, I remember 2014, that winter where we had so much snow. I mean, like Frankfurt got like 215 feet of snow or inches, or I don't remember. It was an obscene amount. It was 250 inches. Yeah, I'm really bad at spatial relations sometimes. So it was let's just say a shit ton. So lots of, I'm sorry the swearing, lots of snow. And, we're inside all summer or all winter long because we don't have anything to do. And I started drinking. I remember I was in a bar at 11:30 on a Monday morning to play pool because it was free. And I remember taking a shot of whiskey. And I remember it going down and getting halfway down. And it was like, oh, man, that feels really good. Followed by my next thought, oh, darn, this is bad. I have a problem. And then, so what do? You take the other shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you don't remember that. But I can remember what I was wearing. I can remember who was in the bar. I can remember what song was playing on the jukebox. I can all that stuff I can remember. That's the moment that I knew. So when I decided that, hey, maybe I don't want to die. Maybe I do have things to live for, like my daughter, my family. And I also realized I wanted to live for myself. I didn't know how that was going to be possible, but I wanted to do this for myself because, I was mad that God wouldn't take me yet. And I was like, man, 7 times, brother. Come on. I'm still here. It's like, well, maybe there's a reason for it. So, since I've been in recovery, I go to Alcoholics Anonymous, even though I'm not really supposed to use that for radio or press. So apologize to my brethren for violating one of the traditions. But a 12-step program for me is what helped. It's what I needed to hear. I didn't know where else to go. Even having 7 overdoses at the same hospital, you think that recovery would have been brought to me, and it wasn't. I had just known that right before that last overdose, my cousin I found out he was sober for 1.5 years through the program of AA. And I was like, what? Joey can do this? If that guy can do it, I can do it, type of thing. Or at least he did it. This is a good place to go. And I remember my mom taking me to my first meeting, and she's saying to me, maybe you can find some friends. I'm like, I don't want to be friends with a bunch of drunks. Everybody's miserable. We can't drink anymore. And I walk in, and everybody's laughing. I'm like, oh, they're just commiserating together because they can never have fun again. And I realized there was something more at that. And I was like, this is intriguing. And somebody gave me their number, and they said, call me. It helps me. I was like, well, I just have to call you and tell you all my problems, and it helps me? It helps you stay sober? I'm like, I can give you all the help in the world. Yes, she finally said she had enough help, until I found a sponsor, which was, thank you, crowd, which was awesome, to have that. And it just really changed it for me. I finally felt I had a community. I was the only person in my family that had ever been divorced, that was a single mother, that had a substance use disorder, that was on welfare. Growing up where I grew up, those things were like, oh, there's nothing worse than a drug addicted welfare mother. I was like, wait, guess what, guys? Hey, here I am. And how do you compute that with the rest of your family? I mean, just the shame that wasn't placed on me, but I felt myself. So when I was in the rooms, just hearing that, we'll love you till you love yourself. That was so true. And I grew in AA. I'm still very part of my fellowship. I'm very active in it, as much as you can be during, COVID and things. We've been able to make things, work, where I live. And it's amazing to have that. And, especially let's get real. We've been through COVID. And, even just before that, we started off this year with a presidential impeachment. Let us not forget. How does that not affect the psyche of the country? And then when you have, a pandemic coming on and your meetings are shut down, as Marnie and I were talking earlier, was talking about the rituals, how do people stay this? And I remember saying to one of my friends, and I said, man, this is going to be a really good, character building time. And she says, no, this is a character testing time.